just a second, it's going to say that we are live on YouTube. We are not live. We are not broadcasting. No one is watching this, so you have nothing to worry about, okay?
All right.
All right, so I am looking at your resume right now on my screen over here, and I'm going to be taking some notes down below. So you will see me look around this way just a little bit, but I would love it if we could start off with you just kind of walking me through your experience in your own words and what you've been up to for the last few years.
All right. Awesome. So straight out of school, I started my current position as the director of marketing for a small organic supplement company, the Terakai Organics, marketing their product, powdered organic supplement juice. And it's been pretty awesome, with them being such a small company and me being hired specifically for marketing, I've had the opportunity to put my hands in every single field of, their marketing efforts, which included just physical print marketing as well as digital. And our first steps really into social media, since they had not really touched upon that before my hiring. But I got to, work on, like I said, the print materials for their sampling across the country, because we do demo samples at Costco's as well as Sam's Club. So being able to support the ground team with whatever they may need, whether it be just uniforms or training materials, helping the regional managers support their team in that way. But basically just receiving the feedback from the field team as far as what's working, what's not regionally, as well as just generally. As far as like what's grabbing the attention of our customers, what's helping us sell more product, what's really helping us engage and connect with our audience, and really grow as a brand. So it's been really awesome. I've also had the opportunity to take photos of our product, like I said, lead our social media efforts. We really got to step into like Instagram and Facebook after I joined, which they had not been doing previously. Previously, they were just uploading stock photos and just kind of throwing it at the wall, seeing what sticks.
Yeah.
Which we didn't really have too much of a presence before, but I actually got to spearhead a couple campaigns that got our audience to engage with us. I launched a campaign called the Just Be You, just because the product is spelled Juce without the I. And I really got to play on that. And I invited our consumers to post a picture or video with them showing how they best enjoy our product. And it was really awesome. We got a lot of engagement that way. But more importantly, we got to see how exactly they were engaging with our product or resonating with our mission as a whole.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of insights that we might not have otherwise. Some people were throwing it in their yogurts, which we had not even thought was a thing before. We're learning a whole bunch of other different recipes that we may not otherwise have. And also we got to connect with a bunch of different brands that align with our mission as well, which allowed us to do partnerships, combine posts, and really connect with them to, engage sales on both of our products. So it was really great. We got to connect with brands like Tiger Butter. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. Be Free, Gluten Free. And with us being an organic product, we got to really connect with a bunch of other brands that shared the same goals of eating healthier and things like that.
Yeah.
But additionally, I also got to be in charge of our market retargeting across our websites. I really got to dig my hands into search engine optimization and what really got clicks as far as our posts or our blogs or just the content that we're putting on our websites and all of that. So just basically over the past 3 years, I've been learning and growing, implementing things that have been working, running tests to see what isn't, and really driving our KPIs. So.
Awesome. I love it. I love the organic juices and I love your experience. It's awesome. All right. So, what has you looking for a new opportunity and what is catching your eye about real estate? Obviously, just a bit different than the organic juice market. So, talk to me about your interest there.
All right. So, biggest thing for me right now is the commute. I'm in Washington, so I live in Tacoma, which is a lot closer to Puyallup. than my current job up in Bothell, um,
Mm.
which is about 50 miles away. So sometimes, like, I mean, the best commute could be an hour, but sometimes it's been 3. And with everyone returning back to work, it's only been getting worse. It's kind of
Yeah.
painful. But additionally, um, our team is so spread thin that even though I do have the opportunity to really get my hands on all of our marketing efforts, um, with our sales increasing, I've been pushed more towards logistics, making sure that our purchase orders are landing on time, making sure that we have the materials to build out all of the purchase orders that we're getting. And we're, I guess, just growing too fast for our team to currently handle everything that we're doing.
Mhm.
And my biggest passion is, in the creative field, as far as, driving brand voice, finding that and connecting with the customers. And, as we're growing, I'm finding myself doing less and less of that. So just any opportunity I can to grow in that field is where I find my passion.
Yeah.
And I guess that brings me to the real estate, that job. I saw that listing and I took a look at their websites and all their different social media pages. And Rebecca Del Pozo has just a crazy scope. And it seems like they have the opportunity to really open up a position that allows me to grow in that aspect. And with the real estate market being as crazy as it is, and seems like it will continue to be so, it just sounds like a killer opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no stopping the real estate market
Yeah,
anytime soon. That's
exactly. Yeah.
yeah. Awesome. All right. If I were to speak with a former boss or known manager of yours, what do you think they would say was your greatest strength?
Greatest strength. Um, I would say something along the lines of team playing. With my creative passion, I've been able to spearhead a lot of different things, but also take on a lot of different aspects of each of those things in house.
Mhm.
Like I said, I was able to do a whole bunch of our product photography. I did our own videography, wrote scripts, just basically a one-man teamed a bunch of different projects.
Yeah.
So I'm very aware of like everything that's required to complete certain tasks. But I'm also capable of communicating with vendors to piece everything together to make everything happen.
Yeah. Awesome. I love it. All right. On the flip side of that, what do you think they might say would be an opportunity for improvement?
Opportunity for improvement. Mm, Maybe budget handling. I guess sometimes I get a little too overzealous about what we can and can't do,
Mhm.
which has stopped us in the past, but nothing that we haven't overcome. But that's probably a big one.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. I know you kind of mentioned this over the, experience portion that we just talked about in the beginning of this interview, but just go into detail for me about all of the marketing and social media experience you have from, flyers to brochures to Adobe, Canva, Instagram, Facebook, all just like a brief pointed overview for me.
Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty experienced with Canva. I had to use that through a lot of my classes in college, especially since it was free. So it's a great
Yeah.
tool, powerful as well. But in my experience, I've also been able to get a lot of experience with Adobe Creative Cloud through Photoshop, InDesign, stuff like that, creating flyers. So I had to create a lot of different table materials for our ground team. So it's like 11 by 17 table flyers. There's even small like cheat sheet cards,
Mhm.
flip table signs, um, standard letter size documents, just basically giving us an overview of the product, the benefits, um, and then working with the ground team to tweak and redesign those based off of customer responses. So just a lot of back and forth, but overall success in those things, driving sales. So
Yeah. Awesome. I love it. All right. I have a couple of strange questions that I like to ask kind of mid interview here. So bear with me. But
no such thing as a strange question.
that's right. That's what I like to hear. All right. What is your morning routine normally like? How do you typically get your day started? Granted, you
Um,
don't have to drive like 3 hours one direction.
Usually it's gather car snacks, get dressed, do the whole like morning routine, brush teeth, wash face, and then find a podcast to listen to on my way up. And just basically, um, I've actually fallen in love with a podcast called Brand Builder. They put out weekly, so and they usually last about an hour, so it's at least my whole commute, if not half of it.
Yeah.
Um, so it gets me in the right headspace right before I get into the office. Gets me thinking about the things that I have to take care of during the week,
Yeah.
which being spread so thin could be a lot of different things. But the great thing is, they vary on their subject as far as like what it takes to be successful in the marketing scape. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
I like that. I like that. I need to check that out. All right. Next question. If I were to give you $50,000 right now for you to give to any kind of charity or organization or group, where would you give that money to?
uh, I would probably have to do a little bit of research on that. Never had that much money to give to any sort of charitable organization, but it'd probably be something along the lines of like in the home scarcity or food scarcity like field, just because those things I feel like shouldn't exist. So
Yeah. Awesome. All right. 5 years from now, we are hopefully not in a pandemic anymore. Hopefully a little bit more normalized. Where do you see yourself?
5 years from now, hopefully excelling at this career, I would say. But if not, just whatever I find myself in, just being able to have the financial freedom to spend more time with my friends and family, um, and I just being happy in that. Uh, Especially if we're not in pandemic, I want to spend as much time as I can since I feel like I've been robbed for the past 3 years. So
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. All right. Back to normal kind of job related questions here. I imagine just based on what we talked about that you're wearing like 15 different hats at the same time, have your hands in everything. So how do you keep yourself organized and keep your project straight without making or letting anything slip through the cracks?
uh, usually I create a big list on Monday and try to get through it through the end of the week. Sometimes some of those tasks end up overlapping to the following week or even the week after.
Mm.
But as long as I keep it, especially like a physical list, I don't know why that works better for me. I guess it's something in the brain I heard, but as long as I keep to that on a weekly basis, make sure I'm updating my calendars accordingly, following up with any meetings or tasks that require communication with like another party or a vendor,
Yeah.
and it's pretty easy.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. All right. Talk to me about a time that you had to create or implement some kind of system or some kind of procedure at work to help things run a little bit better. What was that like?
Um, I guess implementing our social media efforts, just because I couldn't exactly, create all the content myself with everything else I was doing. But we did have like a graphic design team that helped in those efforts. But they were kind of stuck in that whole use stock images, slap on our logo, send back to me for posting.
Mm.
Um, and I guess I had to create a new system based off of just how people interact with social media, um, and just sort of outline like the different types of posts that we could have, and just open the possibilities for the different types of content that we could be generating instead,
Yeah.
whether it be friendly, educational, or just engagement focused. Um, but after having that conversation, sending out that outline or a cheat sheet, I guess I could say that the stuff I started to get was a lot more um, engagement friendly.
Yeah. Awesome. In that sense, did you get any pushback in that area in regards to, you know, if you've been doing this for they've been doing stock photos for forever. So like to have somebody fresh out of college come and say, we should do this. Was that ever an issue for them? Or were they just like, yep, great, let's take your word for it?
It actually wasn't. So, they admitted that they were only doing stock photos because that's all they knew. They're like,
Mm,
hey, I'm not in social media whatsoever. So, that meeting was actually very helpful for the both of us.
awesome.
Just clear that misunderstanding.
Yeah. Awesome. I love it. All right. So, real estate is a very fast-paced and deadline-driven industry. So there will be times where you thought you had until Friday to get this project up and rolling, but now it's Wednesday at 2 o'clock, and for whatever reason, it needs to be done in the next hour. So, how do you feel about being in that kind of environment where the pressure may be on and you need to just kind of pivot and get the job done?
I kind of thrive in those kind of things. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's because I was a procrastinator in college. So I'm pretty good at pushing fast deadlines. So
Awesome. All right. What are your salary requirements for this role?
I would like to either meet or beat my current rate at 30 an hour. So
Awesome. I believe we have this position listed between 60 and 70,000 per year. Are you comfortable in that range?
oh yeah.
Cool. Awesome. All right. Would you say that you are a better project starter or a better project finisher, and why?
Mm, Currently, I'd say I'm a better project finisher. Usually, like tasks are given to me to complete. Like, granted, I have been able to start my own things, like launching our social media campaigns, but I guess that's few compared to the things that I've been given.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely more used to that, but I easily do both.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. Awesome. All right. Well, I think that that is going to be the main questions that I have for you, Sean. I want to just walk you through a couple quick scenarios and then we will be all set. So thank you so much for sticking through so far. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you.
Of course. All right. So for our first scenario, you will need to understand how a lockbox works in real estate. Are you familiar with those small boxes by chance?
Oh, is that just the thing that they have the keys inside of?
Exactly. Yep.
Okay.
Normally on like a door handle or whatever. And normally you have a combination to enter or a code, and that's how it opens. So we're going to say, for the sake of this scenario, instead of having that combination or that code, all of the lock boxes will say, even in the entire Pacific Northwest, they're all electronic. So you have to have a key fob to swipe over a sensor, and that's what opens it. So every company uses the same electronic lock boxes, and every real estate professional, whether you're in marketing or you're an agent or you're a receptionist, we can all get in. We all have these key fobs, so we can get into any house. Doesn't matter if you're in, Seattle or Tacoma, we can swipe in, but you have to have this little key fob. So we are going to say that for this scenario, you are an agent and you're selling a home for your client, and your client only has one house key, but they say, don't worry about it, Sean, it's fine. We always just go through that back kitchen door, just leave that open and we'll be all good to go. So you take their only house key and you put it in that electronic lockbox, and then your clients leave for the day so that another agent can come in and he can show the house to his clients. They head out and your clients come back to the home to find that that back kitchen door is locked and they don't have a key fob to get into that lockbox. So now they're locked out of their house. So they call you and they tell you what the deal is. But at this point in the day, we'll say that you and half of Rebecca's team are at a fundraising event somewhere and you wouldn't be able to make it back to their house for 6 hours. So what could you do to try to get them back into their home as quickly as possible?
Sounds like half the team could be potentially available to use that key fob to open that door. So I guess I would probably just go down some sort of call list
Yeah.
and just beg for someone to open that door.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. And what can you do to make sure that your clients are not getting locked out of their house again?
Maybe mass email saying, this client only has one key. They express that they would like to leave this door open, and just to ensure that that doesn't happen in the future.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Next one, we are going to say that you are an agent again, And this time you're selling a beautiful property for your client. So this is an old farmhouse from the 1900s, and it has, beautiful morning views, and it's on 10 acres of land, and it's awesome. And at the edge of the property is an old barn that your client has completely redone over the, pandemic now for 2 years. And they've turned it into a movie theater and a gym and a home office. And it's going to be a huge selling point for you. So, you've taken pictures of it, you've marketed it everywhere that it can be. It's on your Instagram and it's on your website, and, it's everywhere that it is. But you still want to make sure that whoever is walking into that house is also walking into that barn as well. So you are so successful and busy as an agent. It's not possible for you to be at every single showing. So you have some of your team help you out. But what are some things that you could do to make sure that whoever is walking into that house is also walking into that barn, even if you are not physically the agent to bring them there?
On 10 acres too. I guess you could put little things inside of the house that like allude to the barn, things that are in there, like, oh, hey, don't forget to check out this. Maybe even throw photos of the place in there. Be like, that is kind of tough. But if that is one of the main selling points, the photos are everywhere, I would assume that the customers would also be asking, hey, where's this? But just, I guess, doing everything that you can to make sure that they know that that place is awesome. Maybe, I guess, leaving the lights on, maybe yard signs pointing at it saying, hey, make sure to check this out, or something along those lines.
Yeah. Awesome. I love it. All right. Last one, real quick. Let's say that not something that would normally happen, but for the sake of the scenario, we'll say that somebody else on your team had a last minute emergency. So you are going to jump in and help them out. So you're going to sit in open house for them. So you show up to this open house 5 minutes before it's supposed to start. But when you walk in, you hear one of the downstairs smoke detectors is chirping because of a dead battery. So for the sake of the scenario, we'll say that you are, in rural Washington somewhere. There's not a CVS right next door that you could just run into quickly for batteries, and you only have a few minutes. So knowing that people are going to show up in 5 minutes, what would you do?
I feel like it's wrong to remove the battery. That doesn't sound like something I could do. If I had spares in my car, which I could, that'd be a nice solution. But I guess the best thing I could do is apologize for the noise. At that point, as it seems like removing the battery would be a big safety issue in a home that's not mine.
Fair enough.